Hey guys, thanks for checking out this clip of Anatomy of the Church and State. Be sure to catch the full episode on Rumble or ChristiansForLiberty.com. Links are in the show description.
No.
So what do we do? Can we turn back the tide? Has the tide been turned back before, or are we on a path that it's just here comes revelation?
I mean, if we're on the path, here comes revelation. Well, we're not turning around anyway, so we're just going to lean into it and do our best. We don't got many hours left. But if we're in just one of those moments of history where things look bad, we do what we always do. We see the problems nationally, but we work locally, and we just do what we can. A good example, during the late 1800s, early 1900s, during eugenics and evolution at large, some people, I believe it was for the World Fair or something like that, the big scientific expo they had in Chicago, they brought a person over from Africa, and they had him in an exhibit of basically evolution. And they said, hey, this is him. This is one of those pre-humans. We found him in Africa. And it was just a man they had kidnapped and put in there. And the guy, he's speaking, but he's not speaking English. And so everyone would come, and many famous celebrities like Theodore Roosevelt and other people came and went, wow, look at this animal. Look at this creature. Hey, I can't believe it. He's almost human. You're right. But of course he was a human. And after they were done with him, they took him to the zoo in New York City. And he was there, I think, for about 15 to 20 years. And they had him in there just as an exhibit of a pre-human person. And they're like, look at this. He's that one of those missing links we've been out there looking for. People often wonder why Charles Darwin couldn't find missing links. He did find missing links. Anybody who wasn't white was a missing link to him. And that's why he didn't worry too much about the descent between ape and man. He was obviously wildly racist, but so were many of them. To take somebody from Africa and put him in a zoo, you're working with some pretty racist people. But many celebrities, scientists, and people of that day celebrated what he was doing. And they celebrated this zoo exhibit. And they said, this is great. One group of people said, absolutely not. And that were Baptist preachers. And I believe maybe some Catholics might have joined them as well. And they went out in front of that zoo and protested all the time. And they said, please let this guy go. They said, we have a house for him. We will get him a job. We will take care of him. We have plans to educate him. We will do everything. Zoo, all you have to do is let him go, and we will take care of him from there. He will not be a burden on the state. The church will step up and deal with him, but you gotta let him go. And for years, all the best scientists and all the people said, no, we know what's best. This is not a human, you dumb Baptist preachers. You can't teach a non-human to do these things. And the preachers said no. And they said, what scientific credentials do you have to say these things? And they said, man is made in the image of God. And they said, all of our best scientists have studied this. He's not a human. And they eventually let him go because he was a human. And that might be where we're at right now, guys. We might be the people who, when no one else is saying this is the right, this is the truth, this is a human, we're going to say it. That baby's a human.
Yep.
You may say it's not out of the womb, so it's a human, right? That's a girl. You may say it's a boy, and you can get all your best scientists together, but it's still a boy, right? We're in that era right now where people are denying their eyes, but it's not the first time it's happened. And we as the church got to be firm. And here's the thing. 100 years later, does anybody remember the names of the people who did that? Does anybody even remember that happened? No, they don't. In fact, racism is thrown on the church and thrown on the Christians and said, oh, it was you guys who caused this problem. It wasn't the church that put that guy in a zoo. It wasn't the church that said that these are lesser humans. And in fact, it was in many ways, Jim Crow was enacted not because of the church, but because of the scientific ideas that these were lesser humans and that they weren't allowed to mix and create a worse race. That's coming from science. That's happened before. We're just living through it again. As Christians, we can learn the lesson. What did they fail to do? We will stand up and do what they did. We will say, no, you're wrong. I don't have the scientific credentials, but I have the Bible. And the Bible won this battle 100 years ago. I think it's going to win again.
I think it's going to win again. Yes. I think that's the lesson that we take from that, is that if we stand firm, the Bible will win again. Troy.